Welcome everybody. Tim Bart's here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. It is September 20th, 2022. So welcome to episode 58 here, and we're going to have a lot of fun. You can see, just kind of let everybody know we are actually recording this on as a podcast as well. So audio format, if you want to see it, see that podcast, we are going to be recording that. So you can see it on different, fun podcasting channels that you might stream with. Normally you can find it. We're on 15 different podcast station, so find your favorite one, search for FordVideoGuy. Some of them are with the spaces and some are without, but check those out if you want to follow along and re-listen to this on your favorite podcasting. And if you're listening currently on to this podcast, come on over, join us on our live streams on YouTube Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central, and you can join in on the fun and the conversation going on in the chat room, because you can't hear that going on. So you want to come over and check out those chats, and you can always, of course, watch this video live. Pull up that live chat button at the bottom. I don't know if you guys know this, but since I don't edit these, you can actually join along as it's playing, even if you're watching this recorded, and you can go ahead and see the chat as it's going along through the video. So I just want to make sure I mention that to everybody. And I do want to shout out to the members. You can see those noted there with the with their little colored block there, how long they've been here. So we've actually been doing membership for over a year now. If that's something you want to get into and learn a little bit more about it, you can just click that join button. It's actually attached to any of our videos, but you can see it on our YouTube channel if you just go to youtube.com/McArthur. Click that join. You can learn a little bit more about the different perks you have with the membership as well, and then click join after that if you want to. Now, if you don't see that button there and you're watching this or looking at it on your iPhone or an iPad, you probably don't see it. So there is a glitch with that. So here's how you would take care of that. So you can go, of course, this is on a phone. Go to our YouTube channel right there. And of course, if you use Safari browser or Google Chrome browser, you can see this. Click on the A's up in the left-hand corner up there, and then it's going to pop down and to the settings and such. You want to go to that request desktop website. When you do that, then it pulls up the desktop version and you're able to see that join button. So if for some reason on mobiles and such, they don't want you to be able to see that for some reason. I don't know why, but there's the glitch, and that's how you get around that if you want to. So I wanted to make sure I highlight that. Also, don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the red subscribe button down below, get subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you can stay notified with the videos that are coming up. And let's talk about the videos that have gone live recently. Been pretty busy the last week, so haven't recorded a lot of videos. We did one on the what's new for the 2023 Ford Maverick. I think it went live last Friday. Link is in the description if you want to check that one out. And coming up, we actually did edit the what's changed for the 2023 Explorer. Forgot to have that go live. I was going to have that go live when we were gone last week. did not. So that video, we'll try to have that go live here coming up. Plus, we took a lot of different walkarounds at the Detroit Auto Show. So we were there last week and had media passes to get into that. So we did some videos on the 23 Broncos, Bronco Heritage Edition, Bronco Sport Heritage Edition, the Bronco Bronco Everglades edition as well. We did some videos on the Corsair as well that will go 23 Corsair. It was there, so which is really cool to see that. They actually had the doors open so we could get inside the red one, but then they locked it up when we went back to do the recording. So, and then also we did one on the Maverick Tremor as well. Of course, that one was locked up too. We weren't able to get inside because they said it was a pre-production vehicle. But anyway, had a lot of fun with those. So we'll have those videos going live hopefully this week. We'll get on those now that the well, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Now that we'll be less busy, I should say, putting in orders for Maverick. Don't forget to, we plan to go live on Facebook this Thursday night. Link is in the description for that event. Or you can go to our YouTube or our Facebook channel and for Lawn McArthur, and you can see that event. Go into the event tab, you're going to see it there as well if you don't have the link. Also, don't forget, always link in Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. His video went live before this one. Can get a double dose of good knowledge, of course. Check out Johnny's Car Care and Review. He usually has a video that goes live around 6. I think tonight it was 6:20. Check out his video, watch it, and then jump on over and watch ours. So in our live stream. So two great channels there for you to watch and be following right there. Now let's get into the. By the way, I have an agenda right up here. Let's see if I get this right. Oop, no, right there, right there. So check it out. That is our agenda. So we're going to go through. First, we're going to start with a good dealer highlight. We do have one for this week, so thanks for someone highlighting this one. So Joe Bullard Ford in Grove Hill. It says Al is highly recommended. So Al is the salesperson there at that dealership. It says I purchased a 22 Hybrid Escape SC for my wife from them. All of the negotiating and financing was done over the phone, no markup, and they delivered the car to us and were 100 miles from the dealer. I just ordered a hybrid Lariat with a Lux black appearance package and Copilot from them over the phone. I sent them a pic of my DL. And they sent me the build sheet. I signed it, returned it, and got the confirmation email from Ford within 15 minutes. Hassle-free. So good job there, Joe Bullard Ford and Grove Hill. So good dealer there for you to check out if you're in that area. And maybe that's Hill, Alabama. Maybe that's Alabama. Maybe the owl is Alabama. So there you go. Grove Hill, Alabama is where that is located. So if you're in Alabama, there you go. So good dealer there. So let's talk about some scheduling information. Actually got the information early this week, so we can talk about this. So let's go down through the different model lines. I do have our information up, which I don't know how accurate this is because we're actually show that we have some orders that are previewing for this week that they're not even scheduling for this week. So I don't think they have this quite. I think the transfer over between people that have left that they let go and then people taking over, I think it's still a little awkward. I don't think they quite have it ready to go, so the new people trained well enough yet. But anyway, we're showing some that are scheduling, so I don't know if we'll look at that. But on the 22 Mustang, they are supposed to be scheduling. Main commitment is for November builds. So that's coming up. I'll highlight this. John here says, thank you, Tim, and the rest of the Lawn McArthur crew for taking care of my friend Vinny Marino. He told me he ordered a Maverick with you. Awesome. Great news. Thank you very much, John. So it says a little note there. It says several chip-related constraints might require spec changes and or cancellations of scheduled orders. So anyway, that is at the Flat Rock plant. They are scheduled for the weeks of 10/31 to 11/21. So, okay, 22 Escape. This also goes for Corsair. We're just going to put those together on the Lincoln lineup. They go to the same plant. They're in Louisville, Kentucky. So we do. This says scheduling through 10/31. So 10/31 to 11/21 is what, 11/21 is what I have. It says no hybrid scheduling this week though, and it does say S Series has balanced out for 22 model year. SEL Tech package. Titanium Elite package and Titanium Premium package have balanced out for 22 model year. So there we go. So we're getting close to the end there because 23 is launching here. The 23 Bronco Sport is not scheduling. It says they are trying to finish up 22 balance out there. And so we're going to see, it says 23 scheduling begins the week of 9/19. That's this week. Maybe they didn't update this from last week because 9/19 is this week. And we do have some orders that are previewing for this week, although they say we don't have any allocations. So I don't know how that's working, but I do know that a couple of the members of the YouTube channel are previewing. So, or one at least. So, Stacy, if you're watching this, if you're on here, you're previewing for this week. So we'll see how it looks on Thursday. Your Bronco Sport Heritage might get scheduled. We'll just see. So we'll hope. So everybody cross your fingers for Stacy. I think she is actually in the chat, or she was earlier. So she might get scheduled this week. Moving on down, we do have the 23 Edge, and Nautilus goes along with this. It looks like no scheduling for this week. Also says 23 scheduling begins the week of 9/19, so maybe they will get scheduled. We actually did have some Edges that we're previewing. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, we did have some Edges previewing, so evidently they're not updating their left column notes over here, the middle column on this. So, again, it's money. It's your job. Come on, get it done here. We do have 5 Edges that are previewing. 4 of those are retail with 1 stock looking there. 22 Bronco, not scheduling. I believe that is correct. It does say 23 model year system fill begins 10/6. We'll talk more about Bronco here in just a little bit. I think tomorrow is the date they're going to open that up for people that had a 22. They got flipped over to 23 to go in and update their order. So that's when that's going to open up for us to be able to do that. 23 model year Explorer and Aviator. There you go. Same plant there in Chicago. Does say 23 model year retail only scheduling. And let me look at the column over here. It does say 23 model year scheduling begins week of 9/26. We have another week. It looks like spec changes and cancellations are turned off for 22. So looks like probably not, maybe not scheduled this week. For our Explorers, see if there was anything previewing. We do have some previewing, so who knows if they're going to schedule or not. At this point, I really don't know what they're doing. So there you go. We got 6 there. Expedition, 23 Expedition, as well as Navigator. Looks like they are trying to do startup. We did have some previewing, so do that. They said limited scheduling of the mahogany interior trim, just like in 22. Consider changing to a different trim to improve scheduling chances. Dual exhaust. Weird. Standard on Timberline and limited may not be available to start at 23 model year. So Timberline and limited 304A, that's that performance pack, that ST performance pack, or whatever they're calling that stealth performance pack, that is probably going to not be scheduled at the launch anyway. 22 Maverick is not scheduling, so they are trying to finish out build up. We have some stocks because we threw in some stocks because they said that might get scheduled at the end if they needed some filling. So we threw some in there, and actually they're previewing. So I don't know if they're trying to get a couple stocks at the rollover for some dealers to just fill in blanks there and do that. But they're previewing. They probably won't schedule. I don't think they're scheduling this week. 23 Ranger is supposed to be scheduled this week for the weeks of 10/31 to 11/28. So limited November scheduling. Retail only, looks like. So there you go. 23 F-150 scheduling. It says 22 balance out, but it does say they're starting to schedule for 23. Scheduling for the week of 10/24. So it says very limited heated steering wheels, moonroofs, and 5.0 engines available. So very limited on those constraints, on those items there. 22 Super Duty is scheduling. Looks like 22 balance out scheduling. We do have one that's previewing, so that could happen. Week of 11/21. That's when those would be scheduled for build dates. 23 Transit Connect van and wagon, both looks like are scheduling. Beginning of the 23 model year scheduling here for the weeks of 10/31 to 11/14. So those couple of those weeks there. So we don't have any previewing, although we do have an allocation. So 23 Transit. They are scheduling 23 model year scheduling for the week of 11/21 at the Kansas City plant. Very limited 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine for scheduling, and very limited AM/FM with the digital clock and audio input for scheduling, and very limited static bending headlights for scheduling. So keep that in mind. And then the Mach-E. 23 model year Mach-E, it does say main commitment is for 23 startup for the weeks of 10/31 and 11/28. And we have one Mach-E allocation, but when I looked in here, we have 6 Mach-E's that are previewing. So, oh no, now it's 4. It said 6 earlier. Now it's 4. Okay. Or no, maybe it was just 4. And 2 of those are for members. So we do have some people here that are looking to possibly get Sobi. Yours is previewing, as well as boom, Caitlin, I think is the first name. It just says C in here. But anyway, so there you go. So we have those 2 that are previewing along with one of our employees. So that put in an order on the first day. So there we go. So that's the scheduling. And I forgot to mention, did I mention? Yeah, all the Lincoln lineup there. So there we go. Scheduling for this week. Now, next on the item is the order guide update. So talk about these for a second. We do have several order guides that updated. Actually, I have my notes out of order here. I haven't had an order. Actually, I do have an order. I was going to do the dealer news, but I have it on there as order guide updates, and I forgot dealer news. So we're going to skip and go over because I have build and price updates. That's actually last week's, I think. No, it's this week's. Okay, well, we're going to do the dealer news, and then we'll get into the order guide update because that's how I'm going in my notes here. So starting off, there is a memo that went out this week. I like to keep you guys updated on the memos because there are a lot of dealers that watch this live stream as well, so you guys can stay informed and up to date. So one of the memos that went out since last live stream was kind of an amendment, something we've already talked about, and that's the 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot feature delete. So it's now saying that because of constraints on the semiconductor shortage, Explorer, Super Duty, Escape, Bronco Sport, Maverick, Mustang, Transit Connect, or the medium-duty truck must be informed that the vehicles are not equipped with the 4G Wi-Fi hotspot, which provides the capability to use your vehicle as a Wi-Fi hotspot, like internet, right? Okay. Connecting up to 10 devices at a time. This feature is complimentary for 3 months or 3 gigabytes, whichever comes first, and requires a contract with AT&T thereafter. Note, no other FordPass Connect features is impacted by this feature delete. So just so you know that, you'll get a $20 credit for not having it on there. Basically, all you're losing is internet access for other people that want to connect that maybe don't have it, like a tablet or something like that the kids might have. So keep that in mind. There's also mentioned in here that the vehicles built with a 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot feature delete option will not be retrofitted to add the capability in the future. So you will not be able to add it in the future. So we've talked about that before, but they must have added a model or 2 to that. And they also mentioned in there that some of the 23s at the startup might require it as well. We noticed on the Maverick when I entered in orders that it wasn't in there as an option. So if that becomes mandatory, they will throw it on there and they'll delete it off there, and dealers won't have to worry about that. Also, the 23 model year Mach-E transition customer satisfaction private offer. I feel like I've talked about this recently, but this came up as another update. September 15th is when this is dated. Says that any unscheduled 22 Mustang Mach-E retail customer order that is converted to a 23 via the model year carryover. So on those, and the Mach-E, if you had a 22 unscheduled order, Ford went ahead and converted that over to 23. Kind of cool. That's nice. And put it in there. So then you just need to go in there and update that order. So, and you need to make those changes. We actually did a video on what's different, what's new for the Mach-E. So hopefully you got a chance to watch that video. But it's saying that, you have to put that replacement order needs to be placed by 11:30. Well, it's already in there, but you need to take it out at priority 99. So go in there, make your changes. Change that from priority 99 down to what you need to for that. Don't forget to do that. Also says dealers do not create a new order for these customers. The order is already in there. All you have to do is go into that order, same order number as last year, and make those changes. Make sure you remove that priority 99 and give it the proper prioritized priority number that you want for your customers. And also let them know, and then in here it's noting that the private offer amount is dependent on the 23 Mustang Mach-E configuration selected. That's weird that it's based on 23, not 22 for those private offers. So select gets 3,000, premium standard range gets 6,000, premium extended range gets 8,500, California Route 1 8,500, and GT 8,500. So you can tell extended range battery versions are getting 8,500. The premium standard is 6,000 and 3,000 for the select. So there you go. But I don't know if that's a typo, that it's supposed to be 22, but in here it is saying 23 model year. So just so you know, and it doesn't. One thing I didn't notice, I kind of noticed here, was that those offers are not available for D plan customers. It is available for A plan, X plan, Z plan, but not D plan. Forget the dealers. Don't worry about the dealers, right? There you go. All right, and the next one is the 23 model year Transit gas order bank update. So the order banks are closing for the 2023 Transit gas motors. So that's going to close in 2 days. So you have September 22nd. They'll close at 10 p.m. Eastern time for retail orders. So keep that in mind. You will have about another week. You actually have till October 6th to get the COVP information in and documents it in and everything. So just make sure you know that. It does say Webdo will allow dealers to modify specs on existing retail orders after September 22nd. It says body and PEP codes cannot be changed. And PEP code would be your trim. So body would be your drivetrain and your different configurations for it, like your body configuration and such. And PEP code is your trim. So just so you know that information there. We'll still be able to put in some dealer stock inventory, but not a retail order after that. Moving on, speaking of that, 23 model year Maverick order bank opened up after the live stream last week on Thursday. So it did open up Thursday. People were struggling to get those orders submitted Thursday night. Finally, I think it was 9:30 p.m. when we could submit, which is what I did on a lot of our orders. But that finally went through. But because of demand, they're closing already. So today, hopefully you got your orders in, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. The hybrid orders closed, completely shut off, closed for a hybrid order. Hopefully you got a chance to get your hybrid order in. If you did not, hopefully you find a dealer in the next hour and a half that could do that for you. But those for an EcoBoost order, that closes tomorrow, the 21st at 10 p.m. Eastern time, if you want to do that. And then the COVP paperwork you have until October 5th to get those in, which is why we kind of shifted. Typically here, what we do is we take the order, we have a salesperson then go over right away, get the deal sheet that we need so that can be COVP sent over to the customer that right away and get it right over to the person that does the enter those. So we do those usually one deal at a time. We shifted that completely. Once this news came out, it was closing early this week. Saturday, we just started boom, boom, boom. We just inputted orders frantically with the managers that we had, and we got them all entered. So the only ones we haven't entered are anybody that asked for an order like today. So we had everything. Everybody's got their orders in there. So anyway, so there you go. That's how that works. Now, also does just like with the Transit, it's saying Webdo will allow dealers to modify specs on existing retail orders after the retail order bank has been closed. The body and PEP codes. The PEP code again is your trim. XLT, XLXLT, Lariat. Those are cut off. You have to pick your trim. So make sure you have what you want and take care of that. Also, the body code would be front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, or the advanced all-wheel drive. And what I mean is advanced all-wheel drive, the trimmer is not just a package, it's actually a body code. So if you want the trimmer, you better select it tomorrow and get that tied in, because that is a W8G body code. So it has its own body code for the trimmer package. So it is different than because it's a different all-wheel drive system. So you have front-wheel drive, you have the all-wheel drive, which is a W8F, and then you have the advanced all-wheel drive system that you get like you get with the Bronco Sport, and it is a W8G body code. So you want to make sure you will not be able to add the trimmer package later. It's not, I know it says it's a package, it's its own, in a sense, body code. So I want to make sure people know that. But you'll be able to change any other, if you want to add the black appearance package, you'll be able to do that afterwards if you want it, not on the trimmer though, because it's not compatible. But some of the other package you will be able to do. So we'll talk a little bit more about that here just a little bit. Is it true here coming up? Now, Other thing I want to make sure you know, COVP. That needs to be handed in. And I also want to make sure people know that we have some people that are new to ordering for 23 and don't know this. We've been talking about this for people with 22 orders, but in 23, it's still, they're saying it's not going to be considered in scheduling, but I wouldn't count on it. I think eventually they might say, yeah, they need to be COVP'd. But so dealers are recommended on the Maverick. On all other models, it's required to hand that in. The only way you're going to know if your order is COVP approved, I want to make sure I get this clear because I talk about this weeks in and weeks out, is your dealer. Your dealer is the only one that gets notified. You do not. The email that you got, that you received from Ford that says your order is submitted, that is just telling you that your order was submitted. That is not telling you you have a COVP approval. Just want to make sure that you're clear on that. So a lot of people confused on that in the past. COVP, that email that says your order is confirmed, your order is submitted, whatever that email says, that means that the order was submitted through Webdo to Ford. That does not mean the approval was done. Make sure that's clear. Anyway, and then priority codes. Let's talk a little bit about priority codes on these. So a lot of people, last year I talked about, hey, make sure your dealer's putting the priority code in as a 10 because they can put it anywhere from a 10 to a 19. This year, Ford has instructed us to put all of our 22 orders that didn't get scheduled in as 10s and the rest of the orders at 11 or later. Here at McArthur, we did a little bit differently. Well, not that differently, really. We just did a different number. So all of our 10s are orders that were 22 for us that were unscheduled. When we put those in as 23s, they got priority 10. No new orders got a priority 10, period. They're going to be a priority 15. Now, if you had an order with us, a 22, I talked about it last week that we were thinking about putting those at a lower priority. We have, as a management team, started talking about this and getting some input from some of our customers. And we just didn't think it was fair because some of the people have put in pre-orders on a new 23 a month and a half, even 2 months ago. We had somebody even in February put a pre-order in with us. It wouldn't be fair to those people that have been waiting and putting our trust and putting that order into us that they are going to be put behind somebody that already has a chance to go with a dealership. So if you were with a dealership and you want to transfer that order over to us, you were put in at 15 along with their new 23s. So hopefully that doesn't offend anybody, but if you keep in mind, you could have always just stayed with your local dealer if you want to be prioritized. And which Ford said that. The only way to be prioritized is if you stick with your same dealer, and that's kind of the premise we stayed with as well. By the way, I did see Daryl. You joined the McArthur crew. Thank you very much for joining that. All right, moving on. Enough about that for right now. I'm sure we'll get questions about the Maverick later, right? All right, let's talk about Lightning for a second because this is something I did receive an email this last week since I left for the auto show. So Lightning order invites. So these have gone out for the Wave 3. There are a lot of people that received those order invites, and the XLT and the Pro were sold out. So here's a little memo. It says currently Pro and XLT are closed for ordering. Ordering may reopen later this year for these trims, but there is no guarantee. It says there is no plan to cancel reservations for those invited to order but don't. So if you had an XLT or Pro and you're like, that's what I want, I can't afford a Lariat or a Platinum. So you're sitting there thinking, because originally they told us they would cancel it on September 30th, but they're not going to cancel that invite. So that invite just stays there. And if that becomes available, then you'll be able to go ahead and submit that. So don't worry about that. Invites will not be canceled. So don't worry there. It says we will keep the invitation open so they can order later. So that is great news for those that chose the Lariat because they felt like they had to. I'm sorry that Ford decided to wait until this was a problem before notifying us. So there you go. Anyway, good news for those hopefully that haven't gotten an invite and that becomes a problem later. Now you'll know. All right, let's talk about some order guide updates. The 23 Bronco order guide opened up yesterday, as well as the Escape, and then last week the Maverick. So let's talk about a few changes here, because I haven't had a chance to do a video on the Bronco yet. We will. So I'm just going to go briefly. I go through the order guide and go through every single page and to see what has changed on the standard equipment on every page for every trim. Because like on the Maverick, I found a couple things that were missing, and so we found that, and a lot of people it was a surprise to them when they went to go order. it wasn't a surprise to us because we already knew. All right, so here's some changes. Here are the trims available in the Bronco this year. Base, Big Bend, Black Diamond, Outer Banks, Badlands, Wild Track, Everglades, Raptor. If that wasn't enough, we also have a Heritage Edition, which is going to be based off the Big Bend, and the Heritage Limited Edition, which is based off of the Badlands and will be limited to only 1,966. And let's talk for a second about that limited edition. We've mentioned it in the last couple live streams. So how are people going to be able to get that? You will not be able to order a limited edition. So just get that through your head there, because Ford pretty much said that every dealer will get one of those in either the 23 or 24 model year. You will not get to choose your color or configuration or doors. It is what you have. So those of you that are looking to get one of those, just know probably what's going to happen is they're going to be marked up like pretty good. Anyway, so new for this year on mechanical features, you have the modular hard top. The Oxford white painted is going to be standard on the Heritage Edition and Heritage Limited Edition. So that's a new hard top. That's how you get those. You cannot get the white hard top any other way. Also mentions new for this year, the dual tops, the modular Oxford white painted hard top with the black soft top is optional on only the Heritage and Limited Edition series. See, and I had saw some information, I think I even shared it with you guys, that was going to be available for the people that want a black top as well, like a painted black top, but that's not in here. So again, I'll go through the order guide step by step, make sure nothing's missing or that they didn't include in here. New colors, we do have Azure Gray, a metallic tri-coat. That's a tri-coat color, so very thick color there. That is new for this year. Robin's Egg Blue is also new for this year, but it's only available on the Heritage Edition and Heritage Limited. And then deleted colors, Cyber Orange Tri-Coat is gone. So those that had a 21, moved to 22, and now moved to 23 order that wanted a Cyber Orange, you can't get it. Not cool, Ford. All right, the Desert Sand was Everglades only. That is deleted for this year, so you will not be able to get that. So there you go. And then some other things noticed. They did mention under the dealer installed options that the storage bags for the roof, two-door modular roof porthole panel. It says that's available, which I thought was available last year. So anyway. All right, moving to the 23 Escape, and we'll do more. I'll do a video on the 23 changes eventually when I get a chance, probably maybe tomorrow if I stay late and get it done. So we'll get it done hopefully tomorrow or Thursday. We'll get that to go live for you. So we'll dive into that a little deeper. All right. Escape, 23 Escape, course refresh design. I don't have any images right now. They actually mentioned that they're going to be doing a reveal, and we'll talk about that in a little bit later. Which is really funny. You'll launch it to take orders, and then you're going to reveal it later. So according to my notes, we'll talk about here in a little bit, that it will be revealed. They're going to do a special reveal for that. I don't know. We'll get into that. I can't remember when that is. I don't know. I thought it was in my notes. Anyway, so some changes for this year. So they've made a shift in the trim names. So this year they don't have the S, instead it's the base. They have active as a trim level. So instead of SE, we have active, right? And then in the plug-in hybrid has its own trim now. So it's its own plug-in hybrid trim. ST line is now available for the Escape, and it will have 3 different levels for the ST line. And then now we have a platinum instead of titanium. So that's a change in those trim names there. This year on the exterior, mini spare tire is now standard. Last year it was the tire inflator kit. That is gone. That's been deleted. Great news. We have a mini spare tire as standard equipment on the Escape for this year. New colors, we have the Cinnabar Red Metallic and Vapor Blue Metallic. And deleted colors is the Stone Blue Metallic and the Ice Blue Silver Metallic, which we did see that get removed on the F-150 as well. New for this year, 8-inch digital instrument panel screen. Now that is a panel when you're driving through the steering wheel. That's your productivity screen, or your instrument screen that they call it. So that's going to go from a 4-inch to an 8-inch. Awesome. Great. Glad they did that. That was an update they needed to do for a while. Also, for safety features, LED reflector headlights is new for this year. And my key has been deleted, which I don't know. Does anybody use my key? I don't know. You may know what my key is. I've covered it in some videos in the past, and I stopped covering it because I didn't feel like it was a big feature. But my key is where you can take one of the keys and program it for your kids to limit some speed, not allow them to be able to turn the radio on and such, and unless they have their seatbelt on. Kind of a cool feature, really. But a lot of people really, probably a lot of people didn't know what it was, but they are deleting that one. New for this year, Sync 4. Escape has Sync 4. Awesome. There you go. And then also they deleted the 8-inch center stack screen. It says now, wait a minute, it says under deleted items, it says 8-inch center stack screen now standard. Not sure what that meant. And then new packages, which we'll get into this in a video. Of course, we'll when we do a what's new for the 23 Escape, we'll get more into this. But they're going to be a tech pack number 1, tech pack number 2, a plug-in hybrid premium package, and then their ST premium technology package. And also they deleted the convenience package, and they made some changes to the cold weather package as well as the platinum premium technology package. And again, we'll do a video on these. We'll dive in a little bit more. Now, last one before we get into moving on to an Is It True for this week that I think you guys will like. All right, on the Maverick 23 Maverick, I did a video on what's new for this, so hopefully you got a chance to watch that. The link is down in the description of this video, so check that out afterwards. A couple changes for this year. New color is Atlas Blue. If you tried to order that on XL, it wasn't available until yesterday or last night. Now, if you have an XL, you want the Atlas Blue, that is working now. They have tweaked out the the error code in the ordering system, so you can go back and have your dealership switch to Atlas Blue if you want. Avalanche Gray is new for this year, only on the trimmer. It's not available on any other trim, only the trimmer. And then deleted colors, Rapid Red, of course, because it was first edition color, and Velocity Blue is no longer a color. Also, they changed, Moonroof is not available on the XL trim. Was available last year, it's not available on XL trim this year. You'll have to go to XLT if you have to have that moonroof. Navigation has been added to the luxury package on the Lariat. So Lariat luxury package now gets the sync or the on-screen navigation with Sirius XM traffic and travel link. And some new packages for this year, Copilot 360 Assist package. So those of you that have ordered, hopefully your dealer went through this with you. If you got in there and you ordered a Lariat luxury package which requires a Copilot 360 package, it's changed the Lariat luxury package now. Adaptive cruise, the evasive steering assist, lane centering, the rear parking sensors are no longer in the luxury package. You need to make sure you select that Copilot 360 Assist package. And don't forget, that can be added after today, after tomorrow. It can be added. So if your dealer didn't put that on there, it can be added. Also, don't forget, as part of the XLT luxury package and the Lariat luxury package, they removed the spray-in bed liner or the drop-in liner, and they removed the remote start from that package, and they removed the bed tie-down locking rails. Those are those side rails where those D hooks can move. Those are now standalone options, so you'll need to add those if you want it, like in the luxury package. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't add the spray-in bed liner if I were you guys. That's a constraint item. That's why, kind of what I told our customers as we were going through these orders is, there's a reason why they took those 3 out of those packages. That's all I'm going to say. So they're constrained. That's why they took those out, because that way they can build more luxury package ones and take those out of there. Now, keep in mind the remote start is a standalone option, but does require the luxury package. You cannot add remote start as a standalone option and without going to the luxury packages. What else? They added the Tremor Off-Road package and the Tremor Off-Road Plus Appearance package, as well as the Black Appearance package. And if you want a little more information on that, check out my video that I did. You can see that there. So there you go. So moving on. Is it true for this week? So I wanted to throw this in here. I didn't find a good is it true for last week. This week, this is I should say I am already envisioned that this is going to come up this week. This week, next week, this will come up. You're going to have a dealer either on social media. It's going to come out there. I already know it, so I'm going to do a future. And is it true for what's going to happen in the future? Someone out there is going to say, you can't make changes to your Maverick order. I'm going to tell you right now, that is a myth. You can make changes to your Maverick order. You can add packages, options, adjust those colors. You can make those changes. What you're not going to be able to do is you will not be able to change your body. I just mentioned this just a little bit ago, but so I'm throwing it again. Those are the only two things you won't be able to do. You will not be able to change your trim level, and you will not be able to change your body code, which is front wheel drive to all wheel drive to the advanced all wheel drive. Those are the two things you can't do. Anything else you're going to be able to do. It didn't mention, like last year, where they locked in the motors. That was not mentioned here. Probably what will happen is you won't be able to change to the hybrid, but you'll be able to change from a hybrid to an EcoBoost. That I could see happening. Probably won't. They're probably going to tell us once the order banks close that the hybrid is balanced out. And so we won't be able to go to the hybrid from an EcoBoost, but more than likely you'll probably be able to go from that hybrid to an EcoBoost if you want to. So keep that in mind. And again, don't forget, Tremor is not a package. It is a body code, W8G, so you will not be able to change to a Tremor package. You better lock it in by tomorrow if you want that. So keep that in mind right there. And then also let's go over the dealer notes here. All right. Corey asked, do you think adding the remote start option will slow down scheduling, or is a constraint item? It'll probably slow down scheduling. I don't think it's completely a constraint item. I knew this would come up. So actually I had those ready to go. Let's see where that's listed at on these items here. Remote start's not even listed as a key commodity. So that tells you there. So I've been kind of advising people that I think the remote start's okay. I don't think it'll hold anything up. Spray and bed liner though, and those bed rails will. The tie down kit is 40%, which isn't a lot. Drop-in liner's 20%, spraying is 33%. So I think those are a little bit more. And by the way, those bed rails, those you can get afterwards. You can get through Ford. They're going to be available through Ford accessories, through Ford parts. So you can go to your dealership, have them order those for you, and you can get them in. And by the way, the truck is already pre-drilled for the holes. You can put it in yourself if you wanted to. So I would stay away from that cleat tie-down kit. I would stay away from the spray and bed liners, but I think remote start, you're good. It is not listed in here. I'm going to take another view, make sure I'm missing it. Nope, I would not. I shouldn't be worried about that. Now, some other constraint items, why we're talking about it, Corey. Thanks for bringing that up. I am going to get to some, I have a little bit of information from the dealer meeting, so hold some of those questions, but I do want to throw this in here for the Maverick. Key constraints that you want to look at that are very low is those bed accessories. Tonneau cover, hard tonneau covers 3%, soft tonneau covers 10%, bed extender 2%, bed tray is 2%, bed mat divider, which is new for this year, is 3%. The load box edge protector is 3%. The splash guard's 4%, and the protective film 3%. So I was putting a lot of the 22 orders as 23s, and as I was putting them in, I'm like, well, now I know why you didn't get scheduled. Because I was like, you got the splash guards on there. That's a constraint, and they had luxury package and all these things on there. Those things will really hold up your builds. EcoBoost with the 4K will probably hold you up. Moonroof is listed in here for this year, so I think that'll slow it down, not totally, cancel it altogether, but those really low ones, yeah, anything under that 20% lower, you kind of want to stay away from if you can. That's my take. Trimmer off-road is going to be 8%. The appearance package is 3%. So that's going to be very low. And the black appearance package is 10%. So again, it'll take longer to get scheduled for those, but those luxury packages have come up. So that's really good to see there. So there you go. All right, I know I got a bunch of questions here. All right, well, no more questions. I'll answer these here real quick. Williams did say, Tim, what was your favorite thing you saw at the Detroit Auto Show? We'll get into that here in just a little bit. So, yeah, the Lincoln stuff was pretty cool, by the way. And then none of the Ford stuff, none of it was a surprise to me. Seen all of it before, talked about it in the live streams, did see it at the Chicago Auto Show when I went there. So nothing really majorly new on the Ford line and the Ford side of things. Although I'd love to have been there the second day to see actually be able to see the Mustangs a little bit closer up. I won't get into talking about the actual reveal show for those that attended, because it wasn't good. The reveal itself was great. Those that watched it at home had a better view than I did. I'm just going to say that. All right. Do you guys do a spray and liner? Yes, we do. Most dealerships will as well. Anthony says, is there any truth to the rumor that Velocity Blue is constraining factor on the 23 Ranger orders? No. Colors usually aren't a constraint. Very rarely. All right. Jan said, I didn't get any confirmation on my order. If it has been submitted and confirmed, how will I know if it's done? Your dealer can check and make sure it's in. I will tell you, I put some orders in yesterday morning, and it was like midnight before I got notification that I got the email. So, yeah, so they're really, some of those are taking a while. So just so you know, it might still come. I had one that I put in on Saturday, finally got it last night. On Saturday, put it in for somebody and submitted it on Saturday, and it finally went through last night. All right. Rachel, welcome, Rachel. I seen you in here. It says McArthur can do spray and bed liners. Yes, we did one on your truck too, didn't we? All right, Steve. Okay, you said, why are some mega sellers are saying they only have 12 allocations? Not sure. I know that there were some. That's something else that I mentioned. I did not actually roll right over on there, but they did say, they told dealers, stay within allocations, of what you can handle and such. The problem is Ford never told us what the numbers were. So, I mean, all along, on, I think it was Friday, they said, stay within, don't take more orders than what you can get based on allocations. And so we called our head of the region and they said, hey, what's our number? And they like, we don't know. Like, well, then how are we supposed to stay within that number if you don't know what that number is? Right? And according to what you told us, and even at the dealer meeting, I don't have it in my notes here, but even in the dealer meeting, they said that the Maverick allocations were going to be based on the sales for the last 12 months. So according to that, it looks like based on what's still in the system, we're going to sell about close to over 500 2022 Ford Mavericks. So with that in mind, we took orders based on that information. And so that's where we're kind of looking at there. So we feel like we should be pretty good, but I think there's got to be a glitch with that. Maybe that's stock allocations. I don't know, but all the numbers I've seen, I actually did see some comments on Facebook and some different places. Most of the numbers are like 10, 11, 9. So I don't know if those numbers are accurate. There's got to be stock ones, not retail order allocations or something. I don't know, but until we get it all clarified, I'm not going to discuss that too much. I think they got some tweaking to do there, and they'll get it all figured out. I can't remember the exact amount offhand. I will tell you, spray and bend liner, we are covering the same price as it is from the factory, and with our spray and liner, we do a lifetime warranty on it. So just so you know that, and we actually cover a little bit more than what Ford does. So Ford spray and liner, the top of the rail right by the back glass, they don't spray that in, and they don't take off any of the stuff. And what I mean is they don't take the compartments out, unbolt it, and come out. They actually spray around it. So they like tape off of that and then they spray around it. And I think that that's not as good and won't cover as well. We take the bolts off and such, we spray the liner and we put them back. So I think that's a better seal. And so hopefully you have less rusting and such with the way we do it. So just something to throw in there. So, all right, our aftermarket department is killer when it comes to their on how the quality that they do there. All right, I want to get into some dealer news real quick. Hopefully you guys don't mind me kicking over there. I know you guys have questions in there. Hold those up there. So it's got my 23 order made and got my email from Ford. Awesome, Alan. So, and then Steve said, how many Maverick orders have McArthur entered as of now? Over 700. That's the last I saw was over 700. So, all right. All right, dealer news information. So at the dealer news, I have a lot of notes, so I won't, hopefully don't talk too fast. Tell me to slow down if I am going too fast, but I'll try to be able to be clear here. So it says Bill Ford did talk, and one of the things he said was that the biggest advantage that Ford Motor Company has is its Ford dealers. It says commitment, community, and customer service has always set us apart and will continue to do so. So he's very adamant that we need the dealers. And of course, it's a Ford dealer meeting, so they're probably going to say that, right? But I think they really mean it. All right, so Andrew Frick, the head of sales for the U.S. and Canada, he is also the VP of Ford Blue, which is the internal combustion line. He said, you trusted us for 4 years. 4 years ago, when we discontinued the Fiesta, Focus, Fusion, and Taurus. Anybody remember that? All right. We replaced those vehicles with Bronco, Bronco Sport, Mach-E, and Maverick, resulting in 200,000 extra sales per year. I think it was a smart move. You know, it looks like they knew what they were doing then, and I think that's something to take note of there. Also, Jim Farley had spoke as well and said, "Our commitment to dealerships has never been stronger. We will never sell direct to customers." So he quoted, that is his quote there. We will never sell direct to consumers. So keep that in mind. He said, "Our goal is to take market share with Ford Blue and with Model E. No one else has done this type of plan." So it says, "Our plans for growth are simply not possible without Ford dealers. We cannot do it without you." So they plan to do that. So they have a model. We'll talk about it here in just a little bit. We'll talk about the Ford Blue first, right? And then we'll get into that. So first, before that is Kumar Gauhatra. I'm probably not saying it right. He is the president of Ford Blue. He says, "We are spending more on the design and engineering of upcoming internal combustion vehicles than ever. While others are reducing or eliminating their ICE plans, we are doubling down and will gain market share." So their plan is not to eliminate the internal combustion vehicles, but to keep going on that, because the rest of the companies and manufacturers are shifting over, saying we're going to take this over to electric and EV, and Ford's not going to continue. They're not going to stop making their ICE vehicles. They're just going to also make EVs. So that's why they have two different business models. So that way the Ford Blue can continue to do what they've been doing. And I think that's a great plan. They did also mention orders in here. It says the average dealership will be 30% sold orders. It says the high performers are well over that. I think currently we looked at it, I think we're at about 80%. So about 80% of our new sales are coming from custom orders at this current time. So we're really high. We're much higher than that because we took orders back when most people weren't. All right, now let's talk about the Ford. What models? Let's talk about vehicles here. The 2024 F-150 will get a refresh, and in 2026 the F-150 is all new. It says look for an urban edition F-150 coming soon. They said it'll be a lifted truck, factory lift for that. 2024 Ranger is all new, arriving in summer of 23. New design shares a DNA with the rest of the Ford truck lineup. We've actually talked about this in a live stream before. 12-inch vertical center screen, new 2.7-liter twin turbo V6 with over 300 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque. Basically, think of a Bronco available in the Ranger. So what's available in the Bronco will probably be available in the Ranger. So the 2.3 as well as the 2.7 will be an option in 2024. That's great. You know, it's there. It's on the same platform, built in the same plant. We can expect some of the same things. So that's why we don't need a Bronco truck. It's because we're going to have the Ranger. So keep that in mind. Ranger Raptor will follow soon after, along with several other new trim levels, including a Ranger Wildtrak. They actually had a Ranger Wildtrak at the dealer meeting there. 23 Escape, new styling, standard LED headlights and taillights, new interior with higher quality materials. Again, we mentioned the trims, base, active, platinum are going to be a new active ST line, which 3 levels will account for 50% of all Escape sales. So that ST line is what they're kind of banking on for this model year. The ST line will feature aggressive styling, red stitching accent inside, carbon fiber trim, and flat bottom steering wheel, which is kind of cool. And we'll also have a 12.3-inch instrument panel plus a 13.2-inch center screen. So they basically said these screens in the past, you have your productivity screens kind of down in here, and then you have your center stacks here. Basically, they're going to like almost merge together. So it's going to be productivity screen into the center stack screen. So they're going to kind of be up above, and they're going to kind of basically almost look like one full screen. Basically like having, if you have 2 monitors like I have, it's kind of like that. So anyway, that'll be cool to see there. All right. And then they will have a 1.5-liter EcoBoost, 2.0 EcoBoost hybrid, and plug-in hybrid. Order banks are open. I did check last night. They're open. They said they will be doing an October reveal and be in stores Q1 2023. 24 Mustang. Let's talk about Mustang for a second. There you go. There's an image of that. 24 Mustang, 100% new sheet metal, new vapor color, a vapor blue color, as you can see here. There you go. Looks pretty cool. There you go. There's the back of it. I like that. Looks real sharp. Really cool. Where was I on my notes here? Standard Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wraparound cockpit with dual giant screen. That's similar to what you'll see on the Escape is what I've been told. So there you go. Your productivity screen there on the left side with your center stack screen on the right. Flat bottom steering wheel. Looks pretty cool there. You will have also there you go. You have your drift brake. That is going to be on there as well, available. And then you're going to also have a Gen 4 Coyote 5.0 liter. It says most horsepower ever. Remote rev by the key fob. So, like we said, that's the kid in us, right? So, new Dark Horse. See, I think I got some image of that. There you go. A new Dark Horse 500 horsepower 5.0 liter and carbon fiber wheels available. They say this will arrive in summer of 2023. So we're going to get 24 Ranger and 24 Mustang this summer. So pretty cool there. So there you go. 23 Super Duty getting new styling as well this year. It does say we're going to be able to order those in October. And they're going to be a September 27th reveal on the Super Duty. So be looking at that. That's 1 week from today. Hopefully it doesn't interfere in the live stream. They better not. Do it during the day. We got the live stream tonight, right? All right. So anyway, that's going to be revealed. They did say Q1 23 arrivals. So, but they will have a new 6.8 liter V8 based, or on the 7.3 liter is going to be standard. And then they will have a heavy duty 10-speed automatic standard, and they will have a second diesel option. Is a super high output, they said, 6.7 liter diesel with more power than ever sold by a Ford sold by Ford in a vehicle. And they'll be #1 in payload and towing, #1 in power across all gas and diesel engines. Also some new camera systems as well, including one on the top of the tailgate. So if you have the tailgate down, you can still see behind you as you're backing up. Pretty cool. Some people are like, what's the big deal on that? Well, if you're a farmer, you want that tailgate down, you got to back up, hay bales, whatever, you want to get up close to that, have that camera, you can do that. Also, onboard scales to measure payload, so they're bringing that over to the Super Duty from the F-150. Also, visible screen on app, as well as in the taillights. And also, they mentioned they're going to move the kilowatt, the Pro Power onboard 2 kilowatt. That is also coming over to the Super Duty, as well as Pro Trailer Hitch Assist, which they haven't had. Bird's eye view now will be available for truck and trailers. So not just the truck, but also for the trailer. So 360 view over on the trailer. That's crazy how they can do that. 14 new camera views, including a trailer navigation that adapts your route to avoid tight turns. So it can use a navigation to say you have a trailer, based on your trailer, here are the path that you want to take. Oh, that's crazy. All right, let's talk about the Model E for a second. And I know I'm kind of going on, but thank you for sticking with me, for those of you who have. All right, so the Model E for this year. Now, the Automotive News did release some information on this, but I'm going to cover it again because that was, that was right when I was on the trip. But so there are going to be enrollments for the Model E. So it sounds like dealers can enroll. It sounded like what we had heard before it sounded like they were going to choose their dealers, but they're not doing that. Dealers can enroll for this. So you will have two different setups here for you. You do have the certified dealership they're going to require $500,000 buy-in for this certification. So it includes charging, maintenance, repairs, and up to 25 vehicles per year for current customers. So if you're a certified dealer, you have to get at least one DC fast charger, I believe. That's where that commitment is, maybe two. I think that's just one. And then you're required to update maintenance, some other things in your building, training as well. But you're going to be limited to 25 EV sales a year. There you go. And then you have the certified elite, right? that over a couple years will require up to $1.2 million investment. So basically, in the first year, I think you have to have a $900,000 investment for 2 DC fast chargers installed at your dealership. And then by the next year, by 2026, you have to have a third one installed. That's where you get your $1.2 million investment. By the way, Law McArthur is already contacted. We have someone coming out to look at our facilities and start getting those installed for us. We're already committed. We are going to be a certified elite dealer. We're not going to let this go by. We think it's going to be something we need to be involved in. So the certified standards come with training, charging, e-commerce with no negotiation pricing. Dealers are required to have no negotiation pricing, selling at MSRP. That's required as part of this, and we're up for that. Ownership, of course, has to be bought in. Breakthrough Digital as well. So some of this on the training, specified Model E teams, which we already have. Off-site training, so we will have to go off-site, do some training. I actually got a chance to do that with the Lightning and the Transit, the E-Transit and such, so that was real fun to do. Displays, technology as well. Online appointments as well, so we're making sure we're doing online service appointments. Charging, again, we mentioned the fast chargers that'll be available 24/7, and I think they're going to be free for people to come and charge. E-commerce with no negotiation pricing, we talked about. Only elite dealers will receive Ford.com leads. So if you're a regular certified dealer, if somebody goes on to Ford.com to find a close dealer, they will not be enlisted. Only the certified elite dealers will. So there you go, is another reason to buy into that. Of course, excellence in ownership, the map, and then the 100% remote purchase is going to be available for those, which we're doing right now. If you want to, not many people are going that route. Also on board with the digital checklist and 100% pickup and delivery if you want that as well. And then, of course, breakthrough digital experience with the 10 and 30-day check-ins, experiences tied to ownership moments. So anyway, so we're investing in this. We're going to do this. Okay, it says that if you're a dealer out there and you're thinking about doing this, you need to enroll by October 31st. It'll be effective January 1st, 2024, and you will get 2 years, or no, you get to 12/31 of 26 for that contract. So that contract lasts for that long. Phase 2 enrollment is Q2 of 2025. So if you do not enroll by October 31st, you miss out on selling EVs from January 24th to December of 26. So you won't be able to enroll again until January of 2027 if you miss that window. So hopefully dealers that want to do that get on board to that. But anyway, as I said, Ford will produce 2 million EVs annually by 2026. Oh, something else to note on the e-commerce level is Ford.com. They said Ford.com will no longer is a site for information. It will now be geared towards purchasing and ownership experience, and they want to reduce the order complexity. 2 minutes to buy. So they said actually that has been really good. People that went on the Mach-E to purchase their vehicle, to order their vehicle, they were able to do it really quick and easy. They did say that the build-in price will be active the same day order banks open in the future. We thought that would happen with Maverick. Didn't happen. It didn't happen with Escape either. So we'll see when they start doing that. But they haven't started yet. But their goal is that when the order banks open for a model, that day you will also be able to go on the build and price and build it out on the website. So we'll see if they hold to that or not. But all right, let me take a drink break here and we'll get into questions. So questions right at 8 o'clock. Cool. All right, so we have one up here. It says Ford assigned a VIN to my 2022 Maverick Lariat Lux order to build on 10/16. Now, does that mean that Ford has everything to build my truck without no further constraints? It means they plan to build your truck. Whether there'll be constraints and have to move your order back is hard to tell, but they plan to build your vehicle. So yes, they think they have all the parts they need to build your vehicle that week. Is what that means. Correct. All right, so go ahead and don't forget to put that at Law McArthur in front, and I'll try to get to your questions as quick as possible. I know I'm a little behind already, so Z14 Snipers says, how many allocations will you guys get for 2023 Mavericks? We don't know yet. So there are numbers and dealers saying that they have that, but I don't think those numbers are accurate because everyone I've seen have been under 10, and that can't be, it can't be possible that every dealer is getting 10. That doesn't add up to the correct allocations. So, and they said even at the Ford dealer meeting last week, they said that they would be based on your sales for the last year, 12-month cycle, like we talked about in the live stream several weeks ago. That is the formula. So we're waiting to hear because we don't think those numbers are accurate. And even I think they're all just kind of running around. I think that's been thrown out there, and I don't know how accurate that is. So we're kind of waiting to see before we freak out or anything like that. Some dealers are already doing that. You know how we are. We like to make sure we get it 100% accurate before we start worrying about that. So we'll find out. Syntax Error said, I've heard about people placing multiple orders through multiple dealers. Is this something Ford will deal with for fairness, or are they just letting that happen? Yeah, I don't know. I've heard a rumor out there that they're saying that there's a double order. They're going to delete the later orders. Don't know if that's true or not. There are people within our orders that are ordering 2, and they really do want to order 2. So we have somebody that's ordering 2. One is for him and one is for his son, and his son lives within their house. So that's 2 legitimate orders. Nothing wrong with that, and we've actually seen people that have ordered them. Well, Ridgeview's one. Ridgeview is our moderator here. So his son, his daughter, and himself, they want 3 Mavericks. So they ordered 3. So, there's nothing, if you legitimately want those, that's fine. Now, if you're a dealer out there that's trying to, or you're a dealer, if you're a customer out there and you're trying to, I'm going to put one in with this dealer and put one in with this dealer. And actually, I think there's some dealers that said, hey, it doesn't look like we're going to get the allocation. That was one of the rumors, that we're going to get the allocation. So you might want to put a backup order with somebody else. Well, here's what's happening when you guys do that. And I understand the purpose behind it, and I would never want to judge anybody. But when you're doing that, there's somebody out there that wasn't able to order. And that's why they closed the order bank so quickly. It's because maybe we were putting in duplicate orders, and hopefully people weren't putting in orders so they could flip them. Hopefully people are, or have more humanity than that and know that they're people that want these to drive them, and that they're not just getting them to flip them. So what that's going to do is that's just going to drive up the price on the Maverick, and then people won't be able to purchase them. So hopefully people aren't doing that. Hopefully you think of others when you do that, and know that there are people in there that probably didn't get an opportunity to order because you ordered 2 or you ordered 3. So keep that in mind. So, and hopefully if you did order from 2 different dealers, one of them gets scheduled, you let the other dealership know and cancel it for them so that they don't end up, having that. Now, if they don't keep to the policies of the name match, then the dealer may not care. And oh, by the way, in my opinion, since the orders closed up so fast, you're probably going to see Mavericks become available, even 23s, for probably $5-10 grand over sticker still. So I thought maybe that would come down, but I think now that people are able to order 23s and it closed so quickly, I think we've even seen dealers that are doing retail orders, that people that were putting in orders that are doing $3, $4, $5 grand over on their custom order. They're not doing MSRP on them, so which is a shame. So there's, and like people have said, this is a cheaper vehicle, and there's a reason. And we're one dealer. If a Maverick doesn't get taken, yes, we marked it up to market value. Because otherwise it would be, you used to see it when we had it marked up only $5 grand over on one that became available. It was like, this vehicle's available, go, and put it in the group text, and within 1 minute sold, because even at $5 grand over, they were selling that quickly. And so, if you did an MSRP, I mean, for one, I don't think it's fair for somebody that's put an order in and has been waiting for somebody else to be able to come in that missed that boat and go ahead and buy it for the same price. But that is, one thing or another there. We've talked about that in the past. No reason to hash that out. But all right, Derek said, does unscheduled clean mean the order has been ROVP? No, does not. So as I mentioned, there's only one way to know that you have a COVP order, and that is by talking to your dealer and having your dealer send you either the email that they receive or the screenshot of the approval. That is the only way of knowing that. And I can tell you right now, we've submitted a lot of orders, and we've only gotten 1 approval yet. It's real, since there's so many orders so quickly, it's going to take a little while to get a lot of the approvals. So keep that in mind as well. But as long as they've submitted it, then you should be good. Because even if they submit it and there's something wrong, since they've already submitted it, they have time even after the date, even after October 5th. If they find out and they say, okay, you didn't get approved, your order's not approved, it's usually because there's a bad copy or the driver's license doesn't match the address on the order, something like that. You still have time to resubmit that as long as you got the first submission in before that date. So feel comfortable with that. So unscheduled clean just means that it is in the order bank and to be looked at. Although Ford, they did mention in here, so I will note this, and if they stay to their word, which get into that. Let's read this off of here, because I did not go over this, because I think you should. It says, we still encourage dealers to utilize the customer order verification process, COVP, for all retail orders, but this will not be part of the retail order scheduling criteria. So, and I think what they mean by that is you're not going to get allocations for it. I don't think it means that they don't have to be done, because it says encourage dealers, but on everything else it's required. So they either need to redo that, or if it is required, and make sure they say that, because up here above it says key dates, shows the closing. It says October 5th 2022, dealers must complete the retail order verification process by 10 p.m. So it does say it's required there, but down below it says it's encouraged. So which is it? I don't know. So anyway, and then it does say, but it said for all retails, but will not be part of the retail ordering scheduling criteria. So it makes it sound like that even if you're not COVP'd, as long as your order's in there, that you can still get scheduled. So I guess we'll tell. All right. So Yar said, so Law McArthur will be both Ford Blue and Model E. Yes, we will. So a lot of people, there was a rumor about that, which I kind of squashed several weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that said we're going to have to choose between Blue and Model E, and that is not the truth. You have to commit to sign an agreement, follow these guidelines, get the chargers installed, spend the money for the chargers and the charging system to be a Model E dealer, and we are committed to doing that. So, and I didn't go over the Vols, thank you very much for the donation. All right, it says top page 3, 23 Maverick order guide option 19W as required option Wi-Fi delete. Is it automatic? Talking to Lonnie today, I can't see. Yes, so that is not an option the dealers could put on the order, so it's not in there for us to select. So what Ford will do is, if it becomes to where it's required option, Ford will go ahead and do that for us. We don't need to do that to our orders, so they won't be held up because we don't have that option on there. Tim, thank you very much for becoming a Law McArthur crew member. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. All right, so going back to the questions here, I think we actually passed through some questions. I'll come back, I promise. Hold on, I need to close this screen. There we go. All right. If you have a VIN on a 22, oh wait. Wow, I think I missed a bunch of questions here. Hold on a second, guys. Wow, those questions are just running. Please don't put your question in a second time. I will get to it. I'm going up, and I'm going to make sure I get all the questions. So please don't submit it a second time. I appreciate it. All right, Steve said, Tim, how many 23 Maverick hybrid orders have Law McArthur entered as of now? I think I answered that earlier, over 700. How many allocations you got? Okay, yeah, I must have skipped over this stuff. All right, so Andy said, do we need the hotspot removal selected in the door for the Maverick? No. If that's an issue, they will go ahead and remove it. I don't know if you know, at the end of 2022, it was a required option as well. We never selected on any of our orders. Ford just did it automatically. And then when that order was scheduled, boom, it was on there. So Ford will do that. They'll take care of that. It does not need to be on there from your dealer. In fact, we cannot select that option as a removal. That option, that's not even showing in the options at all when we order the vehicle. So just so you know that. All right. Javier said, do you think there would be any constraints if I ordered an XLT with all-wheel drive 4K? Well, we did mention 4K, FX4, and Copilot 360, and both the 4K and Copilot 360 were constraints, right? So Copilot 360 is a 40%, so that's considered constraint because it's lower. And then also we mentioned the 4K tow package is at 20%. So those are the two things that would possibly, slow down yours from getting scheduled. And Corey said, is the Ford Maverick eligible for a rate lock, or does it depend on the dealer? When you submit your order, there's nothing the dealer has to do. You're going to get whatever incentives are available when you ordered. And then also they'll look at it when it comes in. So your dealership can select one of those two options. So, and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to lock them in. It's called locked in rates, but there's nothing as a dealer needs to do or a customer needs to do to get those. When that vehicle comes in, they're going to see when that order date was. If we hit that protect date as the option to choose those incentives, and it's going to show based on when you ordered. It's going to see your order date on there, and we're going to know that. Once we put your information in and the VIN number, they're going to see when it was ordered, and they're going to see that these are the incentives that were available at that time. So that will happen. Now, as long as your dealership clicks on that and knows how to go over and look at that is another thing. So some may not want to. I don't actually think there is any incentives right now. I don't think there's any 0% going on for that. Maybe for the EcoBoost. I think on the hybrid, I don't believe there are any low rates or any good incentives at all right now, so it probably doesn't matter. Forever Metal said, hey Tim, any idea when I should be looking out for the DocuSign stuff to sign? Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we are getting through that information. So we're getting through that. I think there... Yeah, we should be sending out most of that in the next couple of days. Again, everybody's wanting to make sure we get the orders in. It's very critical that we get that in, and then we can move into getting that. But those that have talked to me, hopefully we get those sent out tomorrow. So anyway, I think that might involve you. So anyway, yeah, we'll get those sent out. A couple people I still need to call and talk to on that, but yeah, we should get most of those sent out tomorrow. But again, we do have a couple of days, but we'll get those sent out as quick as possible. So that's what a lot of guys are doing. Some guys have gotten theirs sent out already. These guys have been working hours, hard hours, late at night, putting in orders. I know Thursday I was saving orders because on Thursday night you couldn't submit them, but we learned that we could save the orders. So we pretty much, when they opened up at 3:30, we were putting in orders. I stayed here till about 8:30 putting in orders Thursday night. Went home, it wasn't submitting, so they all got saved. I think we had like 150 orders that were saved Thursday night. And then we went in there about 9:30. It opened up to where we could submit them. So then we submitted all 150 that night that we had. And then the next day, we put in another 200 orders. I'll be able to submit those. And I know a lot of people stayed into the evening. I didn't. I did take Friday evening off. Actually, I worked till about 7, I should say. But I did take the evening off at home. And then Saturday, I put orders in for 6 hours along with another manager that did put in orders for 6 hours. And I think at that point, Saturday, we had 600 orders when we left Saturday, and then put in another 100 orders on Monday. So, but yeah, so we a lot of people said, well, you said you'd get them all in the first day. And I said, when we were at 200 pre-orders, I said we'd get them all in the first day, and you know what? We were pretty darn close. 150 is pretty good, especially when the system was crawling that night and we couldn't actually submit them. But to be at 350 by the end of day 1.5, pretty good. So, all right. Let's see. Thomas said, will 18-inch wheels be available in XLT Maverick without the black appearance package? Ooh, that's a great question. Might have to refer to the order guide for that one. On XLT. Let's look. XLT options. 17-inch wheels. No, is not. The answer is no. So the only way to get any kind of optional wheel on the XLT is going with the black appearance package, or going with the Tremor, which will have a special wheel. Yeah, otherwise, and FX4 will have its own wheel as well if you go EcoBoost, but yep, there's not. So there you go. So I think that was available last year, but not this year, because when they added the black appearance package, they made people go to that package. So Yar says, wait, so Ford is committed to reduce order complexity, but just introduced so many options for the 23 Mav. Okay, yeah, oh, get it. I just wanted to say thanks for all your help with the, hold on a second. We got oh, thank you, Tim, for donation. Joined the member and donated. Thank you very much. Mine and my father-in-law's trimmer lariats are ordered by Kyle Davis. He's one of the guys that's been stayed up. I know I actually had sent out an email to him last night at 12:30, and he emailed me right back. I was like, what are you doing up? And he's going through his COVP so he could have it right and sent out. So, which is really cool that he was doing that. So, do you know if we have to finance through McArthur in order to take advantage of the shipping perks? Yes, yeah. Because the way that works is we have the shipping isn't free to us, so to be able to pay for it, the financing, we get enough reserve from the finance deal to pay for the shipping, and that's kind of how that works. So, and when I offered that up for our YouTube channel and such was, I thought, well, if people are going to finance anyway, let's, we provide free shipping if they finance with us. And that's why a lot of times we say standard rates, because if you take the special interest rate, it's not enough to pay for that unless you're close to us and that kind of thing. So another option is for you to, if you want to travel in, we'll pay for travel expenses as well. So if you want to fly in and drive home, some people elect to do that as well. So, all right. So back to the chat here. All right. I just want to say thanks for all the help with giving us info. No problem. I was prepared with what was included in the packages and standalone options when I placed my order. Well, and that's the goal, knowing that information ahead of time or when you go to put that order in is very important. So, all right. So SL Martin said, does the confirmation email from Ford mean that my order through you is COVP? It means it's been submitted, not the COVP approval. So again, like I mentioned, we'll have to submit those through approval, and then we'll get that back. And it's been taking a little while to get those back. So we'll get that information later, and that you can always check back for us to check those out. So roughly what percentage of your COVP Maverick orders had the black appearance package? Oh, I don't know. And this order system is there's not an easy way for us to be able to look at that criteria. So within the order system, the only fields that we can see is like hybrid versus, we can see the drivetrain, we can see the motor, the trim levels, we can, sort by that way. We can sort by colors, interior colors, but we can't sort by packages to see how those break down. So we basically have to go into every order and pull it up and then kind of notate it. So we don't really know at this point in time. It's impossible for us to figure that out. So Map Everlasting, still haven't received a DocuSign. Yep, I'm working on it. I know that I promised a lot of people that I talked to that I'd get that to you on Monday, but give me a second. We'll get those out tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, we'll get those out. So I know I promised that, but with getting orders in and being in a crunch, we just wanted to make sure we took care of those people. So we'll get those out to you. So, all right. Aggie Panther Dad says, if I didn't order a remote start system, can I add it when my 23 Maverick arrives at McArthur? You can add remote start, but it'll be on a separate key fob. It will not be the one on it. So that might be a difference. So yeah. So there you go. You can do that. But for those that don't want the luxury package but want remote start, you can do it that way. And don't forget, you can still remote to start the vehicle through the FordPass app. So I know it doesn't take too long to do, and you can do it from your home, wherever. You can just pull it up, pull the vehicle up, hit and press and hold the remote start, and it remote starts it. So you can always do it with the app. You won't need a remote necessarily. So all right, so Bud Addy said, do we need the Wi-Fi hotspot removal on our Dora? I think I already answered that earlier, so skip on by that. H2O MX Racer, cool name. It says, please explain what dealer allocation actually means. Is it better that I ordered from you or my local small dealer that only ordered 10 or so? It's supposed to be based on the sales within the last year. So allocation system is kind of based that way. Also, commodities have a bearing on that too. So part supply and such, and availability for that, and how you ordered it. But dealer allocation has a lot to do with it. So a bigger dealership, because of their sales, should get more allocations. than a smaller dealership that sells less of it in the last year. So we've been told on all the model lines that its allocations will be based on the your sales in the last year. And so until they tell us otherwise, that's what we're going off of. And so for us, you should be good if you have it with us. If they change that, then I'm not sure. But from what we understand, that's how it's going to be based off of. And so really, it really just depends on how many they sell, how many they're going to allocate it. So a dealership that has 10 orders, but let's say they sold 20 vehicles last year, well, you probably would be better off with a smaller dealer than us, right? Because if they sold 20, then they should get 20 allocations throughout the year. And if they only had 10 orders, then you would be better off going with them. Where we should sell for the 22 model year over 500 vehicles this year, right? So if you have an order within us, then we should be pretty close to even on that as well. Of course, they said they will pick up production, which is another reason we took. That's why we went close to 700, was because we knew of our carryovers shouldn't count against that, and they're going to ramp up production, that we were good within that number. So that's why we elected to take that. So, and timestamp has a lot to do with that as well. So priority code is one thing, your priority 10. So we're leaving the 10s on those 22 orders so they can get scheduled and get built first. And then once they're scheduled, we'll move the other orders down based on timestamps and such, down to those other lower allocations. So timestamp will be the other bearing of that. That I did get confirmation of from the brand manager on that. So, all right. So, see, James said, if I have a VIN for 22, no private offer, with a schedule to build for 10/24, the build date does not show on order tracking website. My guess is that I don't have to worry about reordering. No, if you have a 22, you have a VIN, you will not get a private offer. Yours already scheduled. You're getting your 22, so you don't have to order. Just now joining. Tim Bartz is cool, but Kyle Davis is awesome. Oh, I'm cool and he's awesome. He'll like hearing that. He put in 2 trimmer lariat orders for me and my father-in-law. Oh, awesome. All right, so White Spy said, I received a confirmation for my order. Hybrid XLT. I was told the XLT did not have a rear window option. Is this true? XLT has a manual sliding rear window as a standalone option, so you can add a manual sliding rear window. So there you go. Syntax error said, is it confirmed all 23 Mavericks no longer have the Wi-Fi hotspot, and that is that something we can add ourselves? After cannot add it, as I mentioned earlier when I was talking about that, that Wi-Fi hotspot cannot be added and retrofitted later, is what they called it, and that and actually they confirmed, what was the notes in there, talked about that. They did say Maverick was included in that. And so 22, I know the 22 Mavericks that are currently being scheduled to be built will not have the Wi-Fi hotspot. And they are saying that the, let's see, where was that? Also saying that the future ones will likely, yeah, right here. A 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot feature delete option may be added to future orders. So right now they're saying it's not in there yet, but it may need to be added. So they'll have to see how part constraints come along. So they do that when they need to. So at this current time, they're not doing it on the 23s. We noticed that for the Ranger as well. But if they notice within the next couple of months when they start scheduling that they need to remove it, they'll remove it when they get scheduled. So keep that in mind. So it'll probably get scheduled. They'll notice it's on there. They notice there's a constraint, and then they'll remove it. So we won't have an option. You won't have an option. They'll remove it when they need to. All right. Leo said, is the build date, order date, priority number, or just priority number? Okay. Is the build date, order date, priority number, or just priority number? I'm just confused a little bit on that question. My dealer gave me a priority 19. Okay, so here's another thing. I don't know if I talked about this earlier or not. I might have forgotten to do that. But you have a priority 19. So if all the other orders within that dealership are priority 19, then you're at no advantage or disadvantage, right? They're all the same. So priority has to do. So when we get allocations for our dealership, for all of our orders, they're going to look at the 10s first, right? Which are our 22 orders, so we put those in as 10s. Then they're going to look at 11s, which we don't have any, 12s we don't have any, 13s we don't have any, 14s we don't have any, and then they're going to look at 15s next, right? And so they're going to go with that route. So if they look at the 10s first, and they have the orders that are at a priority 10, they're able to schedule the allocation that we received that month within those, then they're going to use those. Otherwise, they're going to move on to the 15s to find one. So let's say there's a 10 in there that has luxury package, Copilot 360, it has splash guards, it has a tonneau cover, and all these constraint items on there. Then it may not get scheduled. They may look for a 15 to fulfill the allocation for that one because that has way too many constraint items on it, right? So try to eliminate the constraint items as much as you can. The more of those you have on there, the longer it's going to take for yours to get scheduled. So if that makes sense. But again, within your dealership. So our dealership is doing it this way: 10s for 22 orders, 15s for 23 orders, and any carryovers. And that's how we're doing our allocation. So hopefully that makes sense. If that dealership is if they're not prioritizing their 22s, that's their choice. Hopefully they're not doing that to their customers. But all right, Corey said, if you do not see an email from Ford stating your order has been submitted, does that mean it was not entered correctly by the dealer? Not necessarily. We had some that did not get their email. Like people I called, I said, hey, first thing I want to ask is, did you get your email? And they said yes. I said, okay, good, because your order is submitted, but sometimes that email doesn't go out if I fat fingered a letter or something. So if I get the email wrong, let's say somebody was putting my order in as Timothy, my email address is timothybarts@gmail, and they put an S instead of a Z, which people like to spell my name that way, then I wouldn't have got the email, but it doesn't mean the order wasn't submitted. So if that makes sense. So in some cases, it's an email malfunction if we put the wrong email address in. So we can go into that order, we can fix that email address, but they won't resubmit that first email. So, it doesn't mean it's not in there. So if you get a screenshot, if you say, hey, I didn't get the email, can you make sure that it was submitted? Because, you want to see that. What it'll look like on there in this line here, let me pull this up for you here on these, for instance. So let me go back to this. Let me see if I can help you guys out. Pull this up for a second. So here we go. There's our WebDo system. Not sure if I can show it, but I don't care. All right. So if you look under this column here, right, this is your order number. Is this column here? Can you actually, there. Now you can see my cursor. So there's your order number, right? And then you look over here. This is your priority number. And then you look over here. This is your status. So what you want to see is you want to see that status not say, you want it to say, see unscheduled clean. That's what you want to see. So if your dealership says, yeah, I submitted it, and say, well, I didn't get the email, can you take a screenshot of my order number with that saying unscheduled clean? The other option is it could say, see, all of ours say unscheduled clean on those. We might have saved an order for these. Let's look at all of them. So there you go. We actually have one. See, we have one we have some that are scheduled, some are sent to plant. Those are the 22s. And then we have these that are, say, saved. So if you look at it and you have a saved one, it'll have the order number and it'll say saved, right? And that means it wasn't submitted. It was just saved. So you want to see that. Or if it says draft, it means they made a change to the order, but they didn't save it or submit it. So you can look for that screenshot. So that's another way if you want to really be sure. That's another option for you is to do that, is to ask your dealer, hey, I didn't get an email. Can you show me a screenshot confirmation with my order number that shows unscheduled clean so I know it's submitted? And then go ahead and fix my email address if it's wrong. Now, we actually had some where the email address was correct and they still didn't receive it. And like I mentioned earlier, I had one that I submitted on Saturday. It was last night at midnight before it actually went through, because for us, we can put our email address on there as well as a dealership email. It gets notified. And so on a lot of orders I submitted, I put mine in there. So that way they can see that, so that I can get those emails as well. And so I got some emails last night. So just so you know that. All right. D-Ride says, first, huge shout out to Michaelette. Great. Will there be Area 51 color for the trimmer? What's the odds on Ford running the Maverick? It's on Ford running the Maverick. Trimmer line right out the gate. Trimmers by Christmas. Hashtag trimmers by Christmas. I like that. That's funny. Let's see. What are the colors here? On the trimmer does have different colors available. They do have, let's see if I can get to that page. Where was that page? Oh, there we go. So let's get to this. All right. So colors available in the trimmer. Make sure I get this the right column here. Is the Atlas Blue. Area 51 is not available. They will not add it. The Avalanche Gray, Cactus Gray, Hot Pepper Red, Silver, White, Black. So those are your colors there. So it's not available in Carbonized Gray or Cyber Orange or Area 51 or Alto Blue. So it's not available in those colors. So that will not change. That is concrete there. Now we have issues with the XLs, right? With the Atlas Blue, that was an error going on. That's fixed. You can now switch that over if you wanted that color. So I did fix somebody's order yesterday on that. So how many 23 Maverick orders have McArthur entered? I mentioned that earlier already. I think you've said that several times. So, all right. Vols said, thank you for the donation, by the way, Vols. So this is top page 3. I answered that earlier. Wow, I'm that far behind. All right, yeah, and yours is getting close. It's in Kansas City Rail Yard. So we have a bunch that we should get yours should be on the same load as 3 other Mavericks. We should get 4 Mavericks delivered here real soon to the dealership, as well as we'll have a bunch of others follow that behind. Ford, take note of that. Right? All right. Landrick said, I'm waffling on whether I want a hybrid or trimmer. Will trimmer ordering still be open tomorrow? Yes. My current order is a Lariat hybrid. I don't know, though, whether or not you're going to be able to change. You should be able to change from hybrid over to that, I would think. I wouldn't see why you couldn't, but all right. All right, so Chris said, I was a priority 1 before I had to put an order back in for a 23. I'm now a priority 10. Will I be put back down? No, not necessarily. So the orders from 22, I mean, they're priority 1 because I put a lot of orders. We had 98 priority, we had like a bunch of our orders that were still left unscheduled. Like we said, we had some carryover ones. All of those were like priority 1s, right? Doesn't mean they're going to get put to priority 1. So keep in mind, they're going to start at 10. Usually how you get dipped, because basically you're starting over at this point in time. So hopefully I don't make this too confusing for everybody. But so that priority 1 for 22 order, when you start putting in 23 orders, it all goes back to you're starting over, right? That's in the past. 22, anything that's happened, the only reason those orders are in there is for those private offers, so they can make sure you get your private offer. Otherwise, they're gone. Okay, so priority 1 doesn't matter. That 23 order is put in as a priority 10. At that point, the only way it can go under priority 10 is by the region giving you allocations. And usually how this works is, let's say we get 10 allocations the first month. That's a round number. Hopefully we get more than that, right? But let's say we get 10. We get 10 allocations the first month. And so what'll happen is they'll choose which vehicles that they want to give those allocations to. Usually it's based on the priority code, 10s, and then they're going to be looking at timestamps for the most part, right? So those first 10 orders that were put in are going to get, they're going to earn the allocations for your order. What will typically happen is those 10 will then get a priority 2, because that's what they want to schedule, those first 10 that were in the system. So the first 10 entered in with a priority 10 are going to be the ones that they're going to give those 10 allocations to. They'll get a priority 2 at that point. So then that way, let's say they look those 10 orders over, and let's say 8 of the 10 of them they can schedule because there's no constraints. But let's say those other 2 had a tonneau cover, or they had a constraint item, they had protective film on there or something like that, which don't do that, people. Splash guard, something like that on the order, and they didn't get selected because they had that constraint item. So then basically they keep their priority 10s, and they went to 2 other orders that say that they were a 10, they didn't get dropped down to 2, they'll take those 2 orders. So the next month, those 2 priority 2s will get the first opportunity to get scheduled, right? And also, it's also a nice clue for dealerships to go in and go, let me look at my priority, the ones under 10, they didn't get selected. Let's see why. Let's look at their order. Oh, well, they have the protective film. Hello, Mr. Customer. You could have got scheduled last month, but you didn't because you had these things on your items or constraints. Could we remove those items for you so we can get you scheduled this next month? Right? And that's kind of the goal there. So, and that's how that should work. So and hopefully they get scheduled next month. So hopefully I explained that well, and that's kind of how that'll work. All right, James said, if I have a VIN, I don't have to reorder, right? Correct. If you have a VIN for a 22, you're good to go. You don't have to reorder a 23. Correctamundo. All right, Lost in Arizona. Darla says, if we add a Copilot 360 Copilot Assist, will that hold up on our order? So according to this, Copilot 360 Assist is a 20% constraint. There, again, just like with the, I mentioned it earlier, I don't know if you were on here then, but there was a reason why they took items out of those luxury packages, including the Lariat luxury package. So they removed the remote start, the spray and liner, and those bed rails because they were causing a delay, right? And where they couldn't build as many as they want. Same reason why they took out the adaptive cruise control, evasive steering assist, the lane keep, lane centering, and the rear parking sensors is because they were causing a hold up as well. So that's why they took those out and put them in its own package. So just want to throw that out there as in case you don't quite understand what I'm saying is that you're going to have a better luck if you don't have that on your order. But if you're like me and you go up to Lariat, you kind of want that adaptive cruise control. My opinion, that Copilot 360 Assist, now that it's its own package, I don't know why it can't be available on the XLT, right? It's its own package, right? Also, something I noticed was kind of I thought was kind of odd too was, last year the Lariat luxury package required the Copilot 360 package, and I know why. It's because of the adaptive cruise control. It needs those other sensors and everything for the adaptive cruise. Well, now that they've taken that out of the luxury package, why are we required to add the Copilot 360 package? That's something that I don't understand. At that point, it should be allowed to be able to add the luxury package like on the XLT because it's the same features. So why make it mandatory on the Lariat luxury package? It's a question for you, Ford. I'd like to know the answer to. There you go. I think they didn't catch that. But. All right. GT Buzz says, you said priority code 10 for rollovers. I feel like my dealer did this. 10 for first rollover, then they input 11 for second rollover, so on till 19, then all 19s. I am 12. Does it matter? I'm not 10. Okay, so I could see you doing that. So taking the ones that were they've been waiting longer, giving them a 10, and then maybe the ones the next month. So maybe they put like, that wouldn't have been a bad idea, actually. We may have to look at doing that. I think the ones that have been waiting since October and didn't get scheduled, maybe they should be the 10s, and then your November orders be your 12s, and then on and on. I like that idea. I know some of you were like, hey, I don't like that idea. But somebody that ordered in December and there's somebody in October that ordered, they would have the same priority number. So I actually like that idea. I might run that by our dealership. Some of you are like, oh no, Tim, don't do that. But I want to help the people. They've been waiting since October. We didn't have any Septembers. They all got scheduled. But anybody in October, give them a 10. People in November that we've been waiting since November, give them an 11. So I like that idea. All right. Okay, so I think, just refreshed. I thought I caught up for a second, but then my screen refreshed on me. So now where was I? I thought I caught up. Am I still way behind? Where am I at? Oh my. Sorry, folks. I'm a little behind on the questions here. Matt said, thanks for changing my order. No problem. Okay, where was I? Is priority 15 better than F19? Yes. The lower, the better. Wow. I'm way behind now. I'm way behind. Oh, here, Charles said, Tim, thanks for all of your advice. Will I be eligible for the finance rates that were available when I ordered my Maverick back in January? No. No, they're starting over for 23. Sorry. I don't think there's any way that they can lock those in on reorders. So I'm way behind. Smokes. Wow. I just saw that. Oh, Kevin, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. So I missed that one somehow, but all right. I'm going to have to... Wow. I'm way behind, folks. Sorry for that. Okay, I don't know if I can go back any further. It says, any guess on how many 22 Maverick orders were submitted to make them close banks after? No, I think they think they can produce 100,000 in a year, maybe 80,000. So I'd say that's probably close. So how do I ask my dealer about COV approval? Email screen. Yep, just ask them to see that approval. Alan says, I missed the item that you mentioned on Copilot 360 should also have, okay, we just talked about that. So if you don't get an email confirmation for, does that mean I ordered to get through? Okay, we talked about that. So, all right, I missed Williams here. It says, Tim, to confirm, one Heritage Limited Bronco per dealer and customers cannot order. That's the way we take it. We were told that each dealer would get one and that they won't get to choose their configuration. So that's what we were told. Now, for the Bronco Sport Limited, we were told that it would be based on your sales history and that the maximum any one dealer was going to receive was 5. So we don't know how many we're going to get yet. So we haven't been told that. So yeah, they're real good about getting those numbers to us. All right, Corey said, sorry if I missed this. When does the first round of scheduling start for 23 Maverick? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I'm not sure. Now that the orders are tied off, it could be any time. All right. Roy says, I've got a VIN for my F-150. Oh, congrats, Roy. Glad to hear that. All right. All right. Zeke said, can you get remote start or power locking tailgate on XL Maverick? If so, how much for each? No, you cannot. So the locking tailgate would go with the remote. You got to go XLT to get that. The XL, you cannot, lock it with a remote. You have to use the key to lock it. And then also you said remote start. I believe remote start isn't available. Remote start requires the luxury packages if you want to get it from the factory. So, yeah. Which means it wouldn't be available in the XL. Sorry if I didn't clarify that. All right. Syntax error says, does time and date the order was placed matter in scheduling? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. So like I said, I'm behind, so I'm sure I've answered some of these questions already. Steve said, so yeah, just to clarify, does the date and order was placed matter in scheduling? Yes. So that does matter. If all the orders that are the same priority number, they're going to start looking at timestamps of when those were submitted. So yes. All right, assuming constraint and priority codes are equal, 2 different dates and different time. Yeah, so somebody that ordered on Friday night would get, and if they have the same priority code, will get looked at. If they have exactly the same order as somebody on Saturday, then yes, correct. Tim, how do I ask my dealer? Okay, yeah, I already talked about that. You just got to give them a call and say, can you give me that COVP approval? Give them a time, though. Give them about a week before you worry about that. Because again, we have till the 5th of October to get those in. So give them a little bit, because I'm telling you, it's a little slow getting those approvals already. I think as of Monday, we had received 1 approval, and we had submitted a lot on Friday. So just keep that in mind. All right. So Shane said, will the $500 military discount continue for the Maverick? It should for active military. I'm not. I'd assume so. All right. Steven said, is it possible to get the 6-in dash without Lux package? Get 6-inch dash without the Lux package. Oh, so you're talking about the productivity screen? I believe that's an FX4 package option that you get, and then Lariat luxury, right? Maybe it comes with the XLT luxury package. Nope. So on an XLT, the only way to get that is to go to the FX4 package. Gets the bigger screen, right? 6.5-inch productivity screen. And then, I don't know if you guys hear me with Mike. So you have to go on the XLT, you have to go FX4 off-road package to get that screen. And then you probably, actually it's not mentioning it in the trimmer package. Why wouldn't you give it that screen? That makes sense. It's an off-road screen. You'd think you'd get it. I guess not. So I guess on the XLT, you'd go that route. And on the Lariat trim, I think it is standard, if I remember right. 6.5-inch productivity screen is standard on Lariat trim. So on an XLT, to get that 6.5-inch screen, productivity screen, you will have to go with the FX4 package. Looks like that's the only way you can get it. All right, Chris said, I received a private offer, cash offer from Ford before I ordered. Private cash offer was correct, has my correct address, but has the wrong initial for my name, Chris L, instead of Chris R. Will that be okay? Yep. So as long as it pulls up when they put your name and information in there, they're looking at address as well as first name and last name. So first name, that initial shouldn't be a problem getting that. So Alex said, Ford dealer sent a build sheet with price and said I was price protected against market changes. Am I safe to assume the price sent is the price upon delivery? Correct. That is right. So if there's any price increases throughout the year, then they're saying they will price protect it, and that's how it should work. We'll get into, I have a feeling we're going to get into this stuff we've talked about in the last year all over again, because these are people that maybe weren't ordering last year, so they're going to have these same questions this year. So, yeah, so we'll be able to see that as well. So Dale said, is about, McArthur is about to be open 24/7, 365 in 2023. No, we're not. I need some sleep. There's only so much G Fuel available in America. If G Fuel's watching, Tetris, she can send me Tetris. All right. Steven said, my dealer made my hybrid XLT order a priority 19. After 3 trips to my dealer, placed my order. After 3 trips, my dealer placed my order. So, all right. So, good. So, priority 19. Yeah, so it depends. Like I said, that is actually the default. So when I go to put an order in, it automatically puts the priority 19 right in there. Most dealerships maybe don't move it, so they maybe make all new orders a 19. And hopefully, if it was a 22 order, hopefully they selected a 19 or a 10 for you. So, yep. All right. Chris said, "Hey Tim, you mentioned you had a photo of the trimmer appearance package that showed the additional door and hood graphics. Are you able to share that?" It wasn't my photo. It was actually the general sales manager saw it at the dealer meetings, and I did not get that picture from him. So I'll have to get that. So on that appearance package, you're going to have graphics on the hood and the side. In fact, from the angle you had, you couldn't even see it on the side. So it's very minor down there. And of course, you're going to have carbonized gray mirror caps, as well as the roof is going to be painted carbonized gray as well. So that's kind of like the first edition. If you remember that last year, first edition package had the painted roof, it had the mirror caps, it had the graphics. It's kind of like that for the appearance package on the trimmer as well. So we noticed that most of the people that we had that put in orders didn't select the appearance package. All right, Jennifer said, gotta go, folks. Have a great night. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for jumping in. Walt said, what percentage of Maverick orders you received were hybrid and what percentage eco? Okay. When we had 500 orders, we actually looked at it, and it was about 80% hybrid. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where it was at. So that would be our only concern, is that our percentages aren't in the 65-35 that they said to take. It's really hard to do that, though, when you're putting in orders. I don't know if Ford corporate understands when they say, hey, don't take orders based on your on what you can based on for allocations, when they don't give us numbers. They don't give us an idea of how many we can get. So we're basing it off of what we sold last year, right? We already have sold about 300 new vehicles so far, and we have over 250 that are currently in production right now and that are in transit. Here, let's just look it up. For those of you from Ford watching this, hopefully somebody is. They would be really smart if they did. They could see the scope of what you guys are asking if they're watching. So until they do that, who knows? So we have 153 that are scheduled in transit such. So based on that, we're going to sell close to, like, I think we're going to, well, actually last I checked, it was like 290, maybe be above that. But I think we're over that. So we should sell 500 vehicles this year, Mavericks. Right? So based on that information, you know, I mean, 9 Mavericks a week is probably pretty much what we're doing. So anyway. All right. Back to the questions. Hey, Tim, did you have a chance to verify if the door handles are black on the black appearance package? on the Lariat. So I did look this up. Oh, wait, I might have got them confused. So on the XLT, your black accents are going to be the door handles, it says. Grill, mirrors, seats, interior accents, headlights, taillights. So yes, it does say the door handles, even on an XLT, are going to be black. So, and then of course the same way on the Lariat trim. So on the black appearance package, yes. So the trimmer appearance package, though, they're going to be, the door handles are not painted. So actually, hold on a second, because if I remember right, I looked at the packages, the very back, that order guide might be incorrect. Because, okay, no, that is correct. So the trimmer appearance package, so black appearance package, the door handles are going to be black. They'll be painted black, though. They won't be the molded in black. So that's how that'll look. So there you go. In the front, Ford logos will be it says Black Edition Ford logos. They're kind of darkened. They're not completely blacked out, which I like. It's like kind of smoke. I think they call it smoke blue or something like that, or smoked. On the trimmer off-road appearance package, you get the hood and lower carbonized gray graphics. You get the carbonized gray roof, carbonized gray door handles for the Lariat, body colored, or well, actually they'll probably be black for the other, and then carbonized gray mirrors, Lariat only, included on XLT when equipped with the luxury package. So luxury package, if you get the luxury package on a XLT with the trim off-road package, then your mirror caps will be also carbonized gray. So, but you have to have the luxury package. So there you go. Again, we'll do videos on those as well. For those who ask about Wi-Fi hotspot delete, have them just use the hotspot on their phone. Correct. All right, and then Kevin said, is the power tailgate lock included in the Lariat luxury package? Yes, XLT and above will get the remote lock. So when I say power tailgate lock, not power tailgate down, keep that in mind. It is just to lock the tailgate. It is with the remote on XLT and the Lariat trim for both of those. All right, Roy said, how long from build date to delivery to the dealer? I have a VIN for production. Once it's produced, it's usually about 4 weeks. So once it's been, actually, I wouldn't say produced. I should say once it's released from the factory, it's about 4 weeks. So John said, Copilot 360 in Lux constraints. Chance of having to wait, again, 9 to 12 months for a vehicle in 2023. Well, keep in mind, the orders were flooded, right? I mean, we had tons of orders flooded in at the same time within a couple of days. So about everybody's going to be in there. And keep in mind, not everybody's going to get scheduled early. Some people are going to be scheduled later. So if you probably put your order in Monday, Saturday, if they put in then you could be in the later part of that. So for us, it was really difficult because we had some sales guys that had customers on Friday and weren't able to give their orders in to the sales managers to put them in because they had customers in front of them. You don't ignore those local customers and say, hold on, I got to go put in 5 orders. You can't, it's difficult to do. So, but we did the best. We had guys that pretty much didn't sell a vehicle for 3 or 4 days because they were putting in orders for customers. And so that was a priority for us. So, all right, so why is Ford only doing 50% for XLs? Many people are going with an XL or 23 because it has cruise, added cruise. Correct. Do you think Ford will produce more XLs? Not sure. Hey, let's out of curiosity, let's look. Now that's something I can look up. So let's go to the Maverick and let's drill down here for 23. All right, let's have a little fun here. Have a little fun, as I call it. For those of you that for this, so let's say out of ours 768 orders, XL, we have 131 of those orders are XL. So I'm not sure what that percentage is. And then XLT, 431. Lariat, 206. So kind of the breakdown there. Um, that might be pretty close to those numbers. That's pretty similar in numbers. I mean, more than half of ours are XLT. You know, we do have, a few more Lariats than XLs, so that's pretty close to the numbers on here. So it's really hard, so kind of take that for what it is there. All right. Ken said, how long on average is 22 production taking once it starts? How long on average is the 22 model year production taking once it starts? Mine started 9/19 per the site. It depends on what you have on your vehicle. So the more stuff you have that you need to put on the vehicle, the longer it will take. If you have to get any of the bed accessories from the Lariat package, those bed rails, the spray and liner, all that stuff, that's going to take longer. So, and I don't know, because there could be a line. It really depends on the given week, given day. Some, may take just 2 days. Some may take a week. So I can't really say that because I'm not there at the factory to be able to tell that. Is there any advantage to a dealer taking an order with no constraints versus one that has a harder build? Is there any advantage to a dealer? No, not really. It's a sale. Either way. Steven says, is it possible to get upgraded 6-inch dash without? No, answered that already. When are the 23 Mavericks going to be scheduled for production? I don't know. Not sure on that question. I can't remember looking at that. All right. EMGT said, my Badlands Bronco blend date is tomorrow. Does Ford send out emails when it is built and shipped? They should. They're not 100% with that. Keep that in mind. So not always. Mark said, hi Tim, congrats on the channel. Super helpful. Any info on 23 F-150 build dates? I have an order with you, and I'm wondering what timeline I'm looking at. Order is B961. You are scheduled for, I know it's not on here. You are scheduled for the week of 10/17. So there you go. Yep, you're getting close. All right, this is going to just jump on me here. Now that I've caught up. Well, I thought I was caught up, but I don't think I am now. Now it's going to jump on me. All right. We got all the questions answered? Probably not. Did I miss any? Steven said, can you get FX4 on the hybrid models? No, can't get all-wheel drive on the hybrid. All right. Corey said, can you change your order after you've been scheduled? Well, you can try. They may not accept it. Right. Mark said, thanks, Tim, for the BAP info on Lariat. No problem. Aaron said, any plans for a McArthur Performance Maverick? Well, our issue with that is that we need a stock one. So if we get a stock Maverick, maybe that's our problem. And we can actually put together about anything somebody wants. If they want to level, I mean, we leveled one out, put some different wheels and tires on one. So we can do any customizations that you might want, but to put a package together necessarily, a lot of times we do those on stock vehicles. Instead, so we need some stock ones. So can you check the priority code for K0670069, please? I think Kyle said they're at 10, I think. Well, let me look. They wouldn't have changed. Give me a second. Take a little second to scroll down. Still scrolling. Just give me a second. All right. What was that? K067. Looks like it. Well, let's see here. Yep. Let me resave these here. So yeah, if those were rollovers, then yeah, they would be in there that way. So yep. So there you go. So I don't know. I think they're in right now. They're in there at a 15. We'll need to check with Kyle and see if they need to be a 10 or not. So like I said, if you had a 22 rollover order, then they'd be a 10. Otherwise, they'll be 15 with us. So right now it's sitting. They're sitting at 15. So you have that. So you'll know that. So anyway. All right. Next question here. Okay. Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I finally got my 22 Mav scheduled for the week of 10/10. Ordered on January 26th. Congrats, Michael. Ordered a Maverick XLT for Long McArthur. Shout out to Marcus. Yay. All right. When do you think I should start checking if my priority goes from 10 to 2? Only way to check is to call the dealer. Correct. Once they start scheduling, it won't change until they start scheduling. So just so you know that. So, are you able to upgrade the Copilot 360 on XLT Lightning later to assist or active? Okay, hold on. On an XLT Lightning Copilot 360, no, you can't add it later. No, nope. That has to be included when you order your vehicle. So you have to do that at the time of ordering. So keep that in mind. So, all right. Have the dealers received any more info or pictures of the black appearance package on the 23 Maverick? No, just the one. My general manager was able to see one. He's actually able to sit in one. Unlike I was able to. But yeah, and he said those seats were so comfortable in those, and it was a Lariat with the ActiveX seats. And I said, yeah, those are ActiveX. He goes, oh, they can't be. Those were comfortable. So he said they were just really comfortable seats. So anyway, so if you're looking at that, then you should be happy. If I answered this already, but when will the 23 Mavericks begin? Yeah, I need to check that out. So a couple days ago, Ford Investor News said that quarter revenues were low due to partially built vehicles. Are you seeing delays due to parts? We are seeing delays, but most of ours are saying they're built. So I thought it was shipping delays, but maybe they're built and maybe there is one part or two or something. So yeah, that might be. I don't know. We are seeing Mavericks being delayed a little bit. So have you heard anything about this being a short run for the Maverick with the 24 starting in April or May? No, I haven't heard that. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's how many they really they received. So all right, skip down the spray and bed liner for my order. If I wanted to order before picking up my truck, do you guys do that? Is it a Line-X? Now we use TOFF, TOFF is the coating that we use on those, and yes, we will do that before you pick it up. So when you order the vehicle, we'll do that before you pick it up. All right. So I actually worked my way from the bottom because it skipped down to the bottom and worked my way up. So if I missed a question, I'm sorry. Put it in, drop it in there again. So then I'm going to head back down to the bottom again. All right. Can you change your order after schedule? I think I answered that. Can you get answer that too? Now, all right. Instar, welcome to the Long McArthur crew. Welcome. All right, so John says, FYI, 9:15 order saved, 3 p.m. Order input, 1:16, 1 a.m. Ordered, confirmed by Ford, 9:16, 1:44 a.m. Yeah, saved. Yeah, so there you go. All right, Michael says, I ordered with you, got confirmation from Ford, but no detailed sales sheet from sales guy. How and when will we complete COVP? In the next couple days, we'll get those out. Like I said, with that many orders, you got to assume it's going to take a little while. Each guy, I actually took a picture, and my phone messed up on me on Friday. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. I think it was Friday. I woke up, my phone did a update, I woke up that morning and the update just kept cycling. So I had no access to my phone. And then I finally did a factory reset, lost my photos the last couple of days. And one of the photos I took was of all the deals on all the guys' desks. And it was stacks of those deals. So yeah, we have guys that had, 70, 50, 60 orders a piece. So it takes a little time to go through those because there is a lot that's involved in those, getting those sheets. So just give those guys a chance, and we'll get those out to you. But a lot of them are taken care of. I think Kyle got most of his, but he has an assistant to help him. But some of these guys don't have assistants, so give them just a little bit of time, and we'll get those out to you. I get my private offer from Ford on my Maverick when you pick up your 23 Maverick. It'll be in there. Basically, it's like a rebate. So you don't actually get the money sent to you from Ford. It requires you to get a 23 Maverick. So you'll see that at the time of delivery. So, yep. And if you're meaning like any communication, it'll actually just show in there. So you can have a dealer look it up. I can look up anybody's. Oh, please don't. Guys, please don't email me all your private offers. Can you check for mine? Can you check for mine? Please don't do that to me. Check your local dealer. Talk to your local dealer. If you have your order with us, we can look it up. Talk to your salesperson, not me. I'm already like 145 emails behind. So please contact your salesperson, and they can look that up for you. So, anyway, to get the black interior other than the black appearance package, trimmer appearance package, that's the only other way. So trimmer appearance package or black appearance package is the only way. All right, it is getting 9 o'clock. So I saw Keith there said, Tim has outlasted me. Good night. Yep, I probably need to get going myself. All right, says keep us posted on Bronco. Yes, I'll try to keep you posted on Bronco stuff. I need to get some Bronco videos out. I will do the videos that I try to do. We'll get this Maverick all taken care of, get those orders in, and figure that all out and get those all done. And then we'll start getting into those videos and we'll start talking about those. I'll probably be doing, and since 23 order guides are closed, I don't know if there's a really reason to go over the 23 Mavericks to begin with. I will eventually, but I'll probably scoop over to the Bronco since those have a 22 order are going to be able to convert on 23. I'll want to get some videos on the Bronco too, so I'll be getting through all those like I did with the Bronco Sport and all the other vehicles too. So Tim placed a 23 model year with your dealership today. Thank you, Krista and Christina and Chris. Good. Chris and Chris. All right, Mark said, Tim, is it a good idea to contact dealer in 2 weeks or more if we don't hear anything about COVP and if something needs to be signed to verify COVP? Yeah, contact your dealer probably even by the end of this week, I would think. So your dealer should send you a copy of your order sheet, and they should also send you maybe a buyer's order and ask you for your copy of your driver's license. So if they don't send that to you, then yeah, ask them for it. So like I've had people ask me for it, because I promised I'd get that information on Monday, and here it is Tuesday, and I still haven't given it to them. And I thank you for reminding me and making sure that I'm on top of that. But yes, I am doing the best I can here. But yeah, do make sure you keep on your dealer about getting that to you. If you're not seeing that in like a week or so, again, the deadline is October 5th for that information. Some dealers may see that it's not required and say, we're not doing it. And that is their prerogative. There's nothing you can try to force them to do it and say, can you please do that for me? It's not difficult. Like I saw one dealer said that they're saying it's not required, but we don't know. But it's not that difficult to do. It doesn't take that long, and that's true. So it's not that difficult to do. So it actually does. I mean, it depends on how many orders you have. It could take a little bit of time, but it's not difficult to do, and they can do that for you. But on the approvals, give them some time to get those approvals in. So thanks for a great show. Thank you. Appreciate all you do for the Ford community. Hopefully Ford appreciates it too. So that's all I'm saying there. All right. Let's see. SVT Lightning. Did builds create from last month's Chinese fire drill order opening get entered before those sent in day last last Wednesday? So did builds created for last month? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. So I might be a little confused there, but anyway. So we did try to order them, put them in. I know that sales guys were giving those orders based on how they received them. That makes sense. So I think, Vicky, did you ask me to look up your order? I think I saw that somewhere. I think I looked yours the other day and it was still not sent out yet. So let's look here. Oh, no, it won't let me do that. So do you have a 22 order? Oh, let me do that. Vicky, we'll look that up for the video later in the week if you know what I'm talking about. So I'll look it up then. All right. Well, Maverick orders get a cool Maverick flag like your Bronco one behind you. You know, the people with 22s, they should have, right? They should have. The 22 Maverick is being built next week. Will I get the finance rates from when I ordered in January? Yes. On the 22s, you should get that. Make sure your dealer does that, though. It's up to your dealer. So, how between build and delivery to dealer? How long to? Oh, I mentioned that, or I think I answered that earlier. It's about 4 weeks once it's been built and it's released from the factory. It's about 4 weeks from when it shows up to dealer. Ray said, I had ordered a 22 model year order with another dealership. Can I apply this to my 23 model year when I placed with you today? I had priority 15, can thus be changed to a 10. Okay, if you had a 22 order with us, then you'll be priority 10. If your 22 order was with another dealer and you're submitting your 23 with us, then you'll be priority 15 along with the new orders. Again, I think you said you did one with your local dealer already. Oh wait, you ordered with another dealer and can apply to the 23 I placed with you today. So the private offer is going to be good on your order with us as well, but we're going to be putting you at priority 10 there. So, all right, Tony says, if you'd like to be a higher priority, of course you can stay with your local dealer, and surely they'll put you in at a priority 10 like they've been told to do. So. Tony says, I haven't received a build date yet on my 22 Maverick order, but dealer says it will get built as a 22 model because it's priority 1. That is not true. So that is not true whatsoever. So just because it's priority 1 doesn't mean it's necessarily going to get scheduled. And that's usually something, I looked at these Mach-E orders earlier, and actually I pulled it up, and you guys could see those priority codes on those that were in the previewing status, meaning they might get scheduled. They were priority 1s, but that's not 100%. That's very likely that they are. And what they were doing was they were taking a lot of those older orders and making priority 1s. So then they were going to pull and start fulfilling the very last slots for build out for 22. But that doesn't mean all those orders are going to get scheduled for 22. So no, that is not true. So that is a myth. So, all right. Whoa. Went past another one. All right. Rachel says, I'm on Eastern time zone. Got to get to bed. Night to all. Thank you for joining us, Rachel. I know that I appreciate you joining us and getting in there. And so I did talk a little bit about Bronco, but hopefully we get those order guides out to you. You can check out those videos when they get released, as well as I need to get on Escape as well. There's so much dropping right now that I got to get videos on that we'll try to get those out as fast as I can. Thanks for answering questions, Tim. Have a good night. Thank you, Ray. And I think that's I think everybody's jumping out. I think we're about time for us to go. So I do want to thank you guys for joining me tonight for the live stream and for the great questions that you have. And again, we're doing this again next week. So jump on in next week. We can answer more questions about production and such as we get those. And I do appreciate you guys for joining me as always. And don't forget, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell notification. That gets you notified the next time we have another video that drops, especially if you're on an iPhone or you're on a phone. It'll get you that notification the next time we drop a video for us. So you can check that out. And if you're not subscribed, I just said that. Forgot to like. If you could, smash the like button. I'd appreciate it. And helps out the video too. So again, got off of what I was thinking about. It's late. I got to go. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. And until the next video, we'll see you later.